making the headlines tonight. Cambodia's King Norodom Sihamoni has arrived in France for UNESCO's 41st General Assembly. Prime Minister Hun Sen has urged ASEAN to integrate new normal during the 27th ASEAN Transport Ministers meeting. Cambodia's aviation aims to increase not only flights for the tourism sector, but also essential freight. Chinese-American freestyle skier Ellen Gu is the first woman to land a double cork 1440. This is the Daily Roundup on the EAC News Channel. A very good evening to you. I'm Paolo Bonini. His Majesty King Norodom Sihamoni has arrived in France on Thursday, a day after he left the 68th Independence Day anniversary of Cambodia. The King left Cambodia for France on Wednesday to attend the UNESCO's 41st General Assembly. He will be delivering a message on how Cambodia has been actively participating in the protection and preservation of culture and heritage. EAC News reporter Ria Soka has the story.
Cambodian ambassador to France, Kit Supan, has confirmed the arrival of King Norodom Sihamoni in Paris. The king is attending the 41st General Assembly of UNESCO. The assembly is being conducted in accordance with UNESCO's 75th founding anniversary. Its Director General Audrey Azoulay invited Cambodia's king to participate in the event. King Sihamoni is expected to deliver a speech at the opening ceremony on Friday, focusing on the accomplishments of UNESCO in Cambodia. Apart from the king, Minister of Culture and Fine Arts Poing Sakuna and some members of the Cambodian National Commission for UNESCO are also in France to attend the activity. An exhibition entitled UNESCO Adventures will showcase the history of UNESCO and its achievements, including the protection of intangible heritage and the expansion of the notion of the cultural heritage. Cambodia has joined UNESCO on the 3rd of July 1951 and has been an active member since in the promotion of the preservation, protection, and development of culture, economy, society, and science. Raya Soko, EAC News.
The Kingdom of Cambodia has now ended the 68th Independence Day anniversary celebration on Thursday. Due to King Norodom Sihamoni's absence, Senate President Se Chum extinguished the victory torch during the closing ceremony. The torch symbolizes Cambodia's freedom from the French protectorate in 1953 through the late effort of King Norodom Sihanouk. EAC News reporter Yuri Matosko has the latest.
His Majesty King Norodom Sihamoni has appointed Senate President Saichom to lead the closing ceremony of the 68th anniversary of the Independence Day on Thursday. He was permitted him to quench the victory torch at the Independence Monument in the capital. The closing ceremony coincides with the UNESCO's 41st General Assembly in France, in which the king is attending. Cambodia's Independence Day celebration lasts for 3 days. It was opened on Tuesday and was closed on Thursday. Several government officials have attended both the opening and the closing ceremony. Due to COVID-19, this year's celebration has been limited when it comes to the number of people. The same with last year. But despite the pandemic situation in the kingdom, Cambodia never skips and never forgets to honor this special day, as well as the father of Independence Day, King Norodom Sihanouk, when Cambodians consider it as their hero. Yuri Matosko, EAC News.
North Korea President congratulates Cambodia's king on the 68th Independence Day anniversary. On the occasion of the 68th Independence Day anniversary, Cambodia has received congratulatory messages from different heads of state and leaders. One of them is President of North Korea, Kim Jong-un. The North Korean president highlights the long-standing friendship and cooperation between the Democratic People's Republic of Korea and the Kingdom of Cambodia. EAC News reporter Ria Soko has the story.
The North Korean President Kim Jong-un has congratulated Cambodia's King Norodom Sihamoni on the country's 68th independence anniversary. He has expressed his warm congratulations to the king on Wednesday. Cambodia celebrated the 68 years of being free from the French protectorate on Tuesday, with King Sihamoni leading the ceremony. Kim Jong-un says On behalf of the government and his people, he extends his warm congratulations to His Majesty King and the government and the people of Cambodia. He has added that it is the common desire and aspiration of their two peoples to invariably strengthen and develop the long-standing and traditional relations of friendship and cooperation between the Democratic People's Republic of Korea and the Kingdom of Cambodia. The North Korean president has also wished His Majesty King Sihamoni good health and happiness, as well as success in his work for the prosperity of the country. Reyes Soko, EAC News.
Cambodia has hosted the 27th ASEAN Transport Ministers meeting on Thursday. In his opening remarks, Prime Minister Hun Sen has urged the ASEAN transport leaders to integrate the new normal way for the region to be more resilient. The ASEAN Transport Ministers virtual meeting is in line with the slogan, "We care, we prepare, we grow." Prime Minister Hun Sen urged ASEAN to implement the ASEAN Master Plan through infrastructure, institutional connectivity, and connection between people. He also made recommendations in a number of areas for ASEAN to operate smoothly in the new context by implementing the action plan under the ASEAN Comprehensive Rehabilitation Framework, emphasizing regional connectivity with further actions in all parts of the transport sector. He also encouraged the ASEAN members to expedite the signing and implementation of the ASEAN EU, ASEAN New Zealand, and ASEAN Air Transport Agreements. He says that they will work as a bridge in connecting the ASEAN to the world. In addition, the Prime Minister suggests to seek dialogue partners, funds, and technical assistance to promote the development of further transport infrastructure in the region.
ខ្ញុំសូមបញ្ជាក់ជូនអង្គពិធីផងដែរថាក្រោយពីកម្ពុជាបានចូលជាសមាជិកវេទិកាដឹកជញ្ជូនអន្តរជាតិខ្ញុំសង្ឃឹមថាកម្ពុជានឹងអាចទទួលបាននិងចូលរួមរំលែកបទពិសោធន៍និងចំណេះដឹងល្អៗជាមួយសមាជិកដទៃទៀតសម្រាប់ជាទុនមួយក្នុងដំណើរការអភិវឌ្ឍវិស័យដឹកជញ្ជូនរបស់អាស៊ានទាំងមូល
Prime Minister has concluded his speech recommending to continue to implement the ASEAN Transport Strategic Plan from 2016 through to 2025, also encouraging the use of environmentally friendly vehicles to address the environmental impact caused by traffic jams, greenhouse gases, and other pollutants. The United Nations Assistant Secretary-General Khalid Kahari has lauded the royal government of Cambodia for its vaccination success against COVID-19. He has paid a courtesy visit to Cambodia's Foreign Minister Prak Sokhonn on Wednesday, affirming that the UN is ready to provide further support to Cambodia's sustainable development. EAC News reporter Ria Soko has more.
On his first-time visit to the Kingdom of Cambodia, UN's Assistant Secretary-General Khalid Khiari says the country's vaccination success is leading to a strong recovery from the COVID-19 pandemic. He made the visit at the Ministry of Foreign Affairs and International Cooperation, having a deep discussion with Cambodian Foreign Minister Prak Sokhonn. The foreign minister has reflected on Cambodia's revival since 1979 and achievement of durable peace, national reconciliation, and socio-economic development after the completion of the UN Transitional Authority in Cambodia in 1993. As the ASEAN-UN Comprehensive reaches 10th year, the two officials have discussed on accelerating the cooperation in various areas, those areas identified in the ASEAN Comprehensive Recovery Framework. They have also shared the same view on encouraging close cooperation between the UN Secretary-General's Special Envoy and the ASEAN Chair's Special Envoy on Myanmar. UN Assistant Secretary-General Khalid Khiari and Foreign Minister Prak Sokhonn are both looking forward to further progress in the implementation of the ASEAN UN Plan of Action 2021-2025. Raya Soko, EAC News.
Cambodia continues to show the world that COVID-19 can be contained with proper management. For almost 2 weeks now, the number of cases remains below 100. On Thursday, the Ministry of Health has announced that 66 have tested positive for the virus overnight. That includes 8 imported cases. Cambodia has now a total tally of 119,358. Recoveries still overtake the number of cases. 71 patients were declared treated from COVID-19. Total recovery now stands at 115,730. However, deaths are still being recorded. Although still unfortunate to record deaths from COVID-19, Cambodia's daily death rate remains below 10 since the 23rd of October. The Health Ministry announced 5 people died overnight. The country's number of deaths is now 2,850, while the active cases are now down to 771. Japanese ambassador to Cambodia, Mikami Mashiro, has met with the Minister of Tourism, Tong Kon, on Wednesday. The two have discussed ways to promote safe tourism while attracting fully vaccinated Japanese travellers into the kingdom. The royal government has been promoting the country to major tourism markets, showing the kingdom is ready to welcome fully vaccinated travellers. EAC news reporter Yuri Matosko has that story.
It has been no different with Japan. The meeting between Minister of Tourism Tong Kon and Ambassador of Japan Mikami Masahiro was held in order to discuss the expansion of tourism cooperation between Cambodia and Japan, especially under the recently announced vaccine tourism. The vaccine tourism will allow visitors who are fully vaccinated against COVID-19 to skip being quarantined if they stay at least 5 days in designated areas. Starting on the 30th of November, Sihanoukville, Korong, and Darasakor resorts will be the first vaccine tourism sites in the kingdom, followed by Siem Reap in January. Minister of Tong Kon further discussed with Mikami Masahiro that he would promote the opening of more directed flights between Cambodia and Japan. Tong Kon has also urged the ambassador to allow Cambodian tour operators to re-enter Japan, as Cambodians are fully vaccinated and can travel abroad safely. In counterpart, Japanese tour companies and media are invited to participate in the Asian Tourism Forest from 16 to 22 January 2022 in Sihanoukville. Japan's ambassador has shown support to Cambodian development of tourism sectors such as community tourism, ecotourism, agro-tourism, health tourism, and second home tourism, which Japan is traditionally known for tourism in those fields. They have also committed to share experience on organizing sports events to Cambodia, especially for the 2023 Southeast Asia Games held in Cambodia. Yuri Matosko, EAC News.
Minister of National Defence Tia Ban has taken the chair of the ASEAN Defence Ministers meeting from Brunei General Datuk Paduka. The online meeting held on Wednesday, pointing out specific points of defence and regional peace amid the COVID-19 context. The ADMM conference was also participated by South Korean officials. EAC News reporter Yuri Matosko has those details.
Minister of National Defense Tia Ban has stated the COVID-19 pandemic is the most unsettling moment of modern times, expressing the major role of the army regarding the resolution of challenges. He has emphasized the presence of the Royal Cambodian Armed Forces at the country's vaccination campaign, assisting the health workers across the country. In addition, Tia Ban has highlighted the importance of cross-border operations between ASEAN nations to curb COVID-19 and prevent transnational crimes, as well as providing humanitarian assistance. He has pushed for the full and effective implementation of the ADMM 3-year work program aiming to build armed forces resilience and mitigate the impact of climate changes, and stresses the importance of women peacekeepers in the success of UN's peace and security work. Cambodia ranks 13 out of 122 countries and is the second in the ASEAN nation with more contribution of women peacekeepers deployments to regions in conflict around the world. With the presence of South Korean officials, the minister has acknowledged South Korea's important role in maintaining peace, stability, and prosperity in the ASEAN region. He says as in South Korea relations evolved from a sectoral dialogue partner from 1989 to a full dialogue partner in 1991 and a strategic partnerships in 2010. Yuri Matosco, EAC News.
Now for a look at news making international headlines this Thursday, the 11th of November.
Russian strategic bombers have carried out flights over Belarus on Wednesday in a show of support for Belarus President Alexander Lukashenko as a standoff over thousands of migrants continued on the country's border with Poland. The Russian Defense Ministry has confirmed that two Tu-22 M3 bombers have patrolled the airspace and helped test Belarus and Russia's joint air defense system. The patrolling mission was undertaken amid rising tensions between Minsk and Warsaw over a migrant crisis at their mutual border. The Russian Foreign Ministry has warned the European Union against provoking Belarus president with further sanctions after Poland and its neighbors accused him of deliberately sending people from the Middle East, Asia, and Africa to illegally cross their borders.
The scene was tense on the streets of Bolivia on Tuesday as protesters and police faced off over a law against so-called illicit profits and terrorists' financing that critics claim is a government tactic to seize private property. Opposition civil and political groups have joined the strike, accusing the socialist government of President Luis Arce of using laws and the justice system to centralize power and crack down on opposition. Thousands of union members marched in the main cities of the landlocked South American country against the law, while drivers suspended public transport services. While in the city of Santa Cruz, protesters blockaded roads. Footage showed police using a water cannon and tear gas near protesters. A top union leader says the government is doubtful and wants to find out where the unions get their money and their merchandise. He further claims that there is a big fear on the part of the government that they will take everything from them. The strike, while widespread, did not have the support of the powerful Central Obrera Boliviana Union, which is more closely allied with the government. The country has been sharply divided since the abrupt resignation of former socialist leader Evo Morales in 2019 amid protests. His party, back in power with a new president, accuses the conservative opposition of leading a coup against him.
And heavy rain in Sri Lanka leaves 25 people dead and thousands displaced. Most deaths have occurred due to drowning and lightning strikes in Sri Lanka. The heavy rains have also affected 17 of Sri Lanka's 25 districts, including a main hospital in Chilaw. The country's disaster management agency has confirmed on Wednesday a footage from the capital city of the country's northwestern province. Bodies of two people were seen after a house was destroyed by a landslide in Coronigela. Many roads, including main traffic arteries, were inundated as well as houses. The Department of Meteorology has made a statement that rains are expected to ease in the next 2 days as the low-pressure area will move towards the Indian coast.
After the break, a look at your sports news.
EAC News fully supports the Royal Government of Cambodia's preventative and administrative measures against COVID-19. But we need you to play your part in helping bring the 20 February community transmission event to an end. Wash your hands regularly, sanitize wherever possible. Keep an eye on your body temperature. Use the Stop COVID QR code and maintain a safe social distance. But above all, please, 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 wear a mask. Only together can we beat COVID-19. EAC News' audience is growing. Our YouTube channel has over 150,000 verified subscribers. To mark the milestone, we've received the Silver Creator Award from YouTube. It's given to channels with over 100,000 subscribers. YouTube CEO Susan Wojcicki says the award celebrates EAC News' hard work and incredible achievement. She says we brought a unique voice and style to the world, but have also created valuable connections and built a community along the way. The next milestone we're going for is 1 million subscribers, and we'd really like that Gold Creator Award. So if you're not already a subscriber, head to YouTube and search for EAC News. Subscribers get alerts when the Daily Roundup is premiering and live events are streaming. Get all the latest breaking news and updates from Cambodia in English. The EAC News channel on YouTube. Cambodia made clear. If it's happening and you need to know about it, you'll get it all right here. EAC News brings you updates and breaking news in English across all of our platforms and channels. The EAC News app, YouTube, Facebook, Telegram, Twitter, and our website www.eacnews.asia. Join me, Andrew Barnes-Roberts, and the rest of the EAC News team every day on your favorite channels. EAC News, Cambodia made clear.
Chinese freestyle skier Eileen Gu became the first woman to land a double cork 1440. The 18-year-old made history whilst training at Beijing 2020 Stabu, Austria.
Gu landed her jump in sunny conditions, a brilliant launch angle, and lift for the huge double cork 1440 trick, followed by a smooth landing on her two skis, delighted watching friends and fans. Gu, whose father is American and mother Chinese, earned her first International Skate Federation Freeski World Cup victory in 2019 and went on to back it up by producing fine performances in big competitions around the world last season. She finished the 2021 Winter X Games in Aspen with super pipe and slopestyle golds, as well as a bronze medal in big air, then added 2 golds and 1 bronze at the 2021 FIS World Championships. Gu has chosen to represent China at the upcoming 2022 Beijing Winter Olympics.
Optimism is rising high in Argentina's national soccer team as Lionel Messi participates in the last training session before the World Cup qualifier against Uruguay on Friday. Messi has recovered from a left leg injury for which he flew to Madrid to seek advice from specialists. He was seen training without any restrictions during practice. Argentina's national team is in second place of the South American qualifying group, 6 points behind the leaders, Brazil. Uruguay's team holds 5th place in the South American standing. The National Football League has fined the Green Bay Packers and 2 of the team players, including quarterback Aaron Rodgers, for violating COVID-19 protocols. $300,000 for the team, while $14,650 each for the 2 players, including Aaron Rodgers.
The fines were handed down a week after Rodgers, a three-time NFL Most Valuable Player, tested positive for COVID-19 and later admitted he misled people about his vaccination status.
Yeah, I've been immunized. There's a lot of conversation around it, around the league, and a lot of guys who have made statements and have made statements, owners who made statements. There's guys on the team that haven't been vaccinated. I think it's a personal decision.
Rodgers and teammate Alan Lazard, who is also unvaccinated, were fined for attending a Halloween party, despite protocols that prohibited unvaccinated players from gathering outside of the club facility in a group of more than 3 players. While the Packers did not sanction the party, the NFL says they were fined for the event since they were aware of it after it took place and did not discipline Rodgers or Lazard and failed to report their violations to the league. The violations also included Rodgers not wearing a mask during news conference.
All right, let's have a look at what the weather's doing tomorrow. And finally, thousands of pelicans on their exhausting journey south this autumn are on the hunt for food, and the authorities in Israel have set up pelican-friendly reservoirs to protect commercial fisheries.
It's estimated that about 50,000 hungry great white pelicans, among the largest of migrating birds, stop off in Israel during their migration season. In spring, on their way to north to Europe and Asia, and later in the year back to Africa. These huge birds usually rest and feed in Israel for weeks, causing chaos for local fish farmers, whose outdoor commercial fish pools and reservoirs provide rich food for the birds. This is costly for the farmers and can be dangerous for the pelicans. One solution is to offer them alternative cuisine in a key location, and about 2.5 tons of second-rate fish have been put into a designated pond in Mishmar Hasharon, a communal kibbutz, an intentional community in Israel that was traditionally based on agriculture near Israel's Mediterranean coast, where the pelicans are welcome to feast. The program aims at minimizing the friction between man and pelicans. From this safe haven, they can continue their often perilous migration. The Society for the Protection of Nature in Israel estimates that around 500 million birds die during the seasonal journey that covers thousands of kilometers. Culprits include natural predators as well as human activity, like the destruction of habitats and electrocution by power cables.
Thanks for watching the Daily Roundup here on the EAC News Channel. For more breaking news and updates, check out our website at eacnews.asia. You can also search for EAC News on Telegram and at your favorite app store. More from the EAC News team tomorrow at 8. I'll see you then.